A major story is told last night on Raw surrounding the main event of the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship. Big names are on their way to NXT. A big finishing move returns, a preview of SmackDown, and hot news. This is PWR Tonight for Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. Hello fans, Damian Nelson coming to you here from the Pro Wrestling Report Studios. Thank you for joining us here for PWR Tonight, a summary of all the day's wrestling news and a look back at the wrestling presentations from last night from WWE, specifically Raw. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are all over the world. I want to remind you to subscribe to the broadcast, subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Report right here on YouTube if that's where you're watching us. And never miss an episode. Get notifications when new episodes of the Pro Wrestling Report are brought to you. And as you saw last night, it was the big return of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. We do want to apologize for the sound challenges that occurred during that broadcast. If you care for the details, our soundboard actually died during that taping, and we had to use our backup audio, which of course was not as good as our primary audio. So we apologize, but appreciate your patience through that process as we work through it. Be that as it may, though, folks, follow us on our social media channels as well. PWR Show, all across the board, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Folks, last night's WWE Raw started off in a huge way with Kurt Angle firing Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman taking the news not well at all and goes on a 1-hour-long rampage, attacking security officers, turning over a semi-tractor trailer, wreaking havoc in the production truck, and really did make his presence known. Now, it would be Stephanie McMahon who would call Kurt Angle, at least for storyline purposes, to have him reinstated. So, when suspended, Kurt Angle indicated that the match at the Royal Rumble was going to be Brock Lesnar versus Kane for the championship. Braun Strowman was out of the matchup. By the end of the show, actually by the top of the second hour, Braun Strowman was back, reinstated, and in the match again. And this after he had attacked, or at least begun the process of attacking Michael Cole from the commentary position. And Kurt Angle's, I guess, somewhat agreement with Braun was that if he let Michael go, he would reinstate him. Well, Braun did let Michael go, but after being reinstated, came back and actually threw him off the ramp, which got us Todd Phillips to fill out the episode, the broadcast of Raw on Monday night. I thought it was very well done with Braun. I thought it was a little abrupt in the ending, but as intense as that 1-hour-long rampage he went on was, I'm not sure it could have or should have been sustained for longer in the show. As I look at this, though, I still see Kane, who I respect tremendously and definitely deserves championship opportunities. I look at him in this match and wonder why he's in this match. Perhaps he's the veteran, the skilled professional, if you will, that will ensure that Braun and Brock Lesnar deliver in the contest. And maybe that's why he's there, I don't know, but he sort of seems a bit out of place here in the Royal Rumble main event. And I think because it is the Royal Rumble event, they can get away with having this triple threat as they're sort of doing on the SmackDown side of things. Granted, it's more of a handicap match, but that match is still on. Kudos. I thought it was well done this past Monday night. I was engaged. I was loving everything I saw from Braun, including flipping over that tractor trailer, which was incredibly well produced in San Antonio on Monday night. Folks, a lot of buzz going around in the wrestling business over the return of a big finishing maneuver, that being the curb stop, the curb stomp from Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins used the move in his matchup last night on Raw, and we had not seen it in months, if not years. The match deemed a bit too dangerous to be used for a period of time in WWE. Well, it is back, and some are speculating that this may mean that Seth Rollins is also getting his edge back and maybe looking to take another trip down the dark side of heel territory. We'll see how that plays out and where it goes over the course of the next few months, especially with his tag team partner Jason Jordan, who, by the way, I am still liking more and more each week. Not quite endorsed yet, but I'm liking him more and more each week. The Revival talked to us last night after their big victory over a team of jobbers, enhancement talent, if you will, and told us that they were not about the old era. They were not about the new era. They were their own guys. And what was most telling in that promo was them specifically stating that they were not sports entertainers. but that they were professional wrestlers. And for those of you who know anything about the controlled dialogue, I guess, and the vocabulary of WWE, there aren't any wrestlers. They're all sports entertainers. And I thought it was very telling that they broke down that fourth wall to a degree, I think you could say, and mentioned that, and also mentioned that they're not looking forward to the legends that are returning on Raw 25 next week. And keep in mind, we'll be live from New York next Monday night with a very special edition of the Pro Wrestling Report tonight, PWR Tonight. David Hero and myself will be in Manhattan, in Times Square. We'll be bringing you a pre-Raw episode of PWR Tonight, so be sure to tune in. Another reason to subscribe to the broadcast right here. But back to the Revival, I wonder, as are many of you, if this is setting them up for the Legends squash, if you will, come Monday night at Raw. I don't think that's going to happen, though, because I think the Revival is a great enough team where they don't need that setback, and it would be a setback for sure. I wonder if the Revival actually lays out a bunch of the Legends come Raw 25. Well, only time will tell. We'll see what Monday brings for that. But Raw last night, I thought it was a good show. Solid 3 hours, felt good. A lot more happening, of course, involving The Miz. I love Elias introducing The Miz. Seems to be a regular thing now. It makes The Miz that much more of a superstar, and actually, by the way, does the same for Elias. Raw last night gets a passing grade from me on the USA Network. An update to the Pro Wrestling Report Fantasy Draft. By the way, thank you to those of you who have sent in your complete rosters. Want to encourage all of you who signed up to participate in the draft to do so. You can send that to draft@pwrshow.com. Again, that's draft@pwrshow.com. Superfans remain in the lead with 2,835 points to the 2,525 points by yours truly of the Nelson family. The Royal Rumble not only can, but probably will change it all because there are bonus points available in the Royal Rumble. So follow along the PWR Fantasy Draft. It ends at WrestleMania, but could turn in favor of my family, the Nelson family, at the Royal Rumble next Sunday. In today's hot news, Goldberg has been announced as the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. Of course, that Hall of Fame induction ceremony to occur as part of WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans, Louisiana at the Smoothie King Center, I believe it is. Goldberg going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Very fitting, of course, if you look at the run he had in the second half of last year, the beginning of this year. Well-deserved, not just for that, but for his career overall. Don't know who else will round out the rest of the class. We will see, as those names would probably end up continuing to be announced on Mondays leading into the Hall of Fame. Now, I think we might have a couple of week gap because it was the on sale, I believe, this week as well. So, of course, announcing Goldberg along with the on sale will get them more tickets sold to the event. But let's see what other names are announced and will be participating in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. A couple of new names coming to NXT, which actually probably needs them. Some big names from the likes of Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Independent Wrestling. Some of them familiar to NXT as they've participated at least on a one-shot basis before, but many are not. Firstly, WWE announced the signing of Candice LeRae, who had participated in the Mae Young Classic and previously had also participated in a Battle Royal for the company, NXT. She has been signed and will be reporting to the WWE Performance Center. Also, a star who we all have heard of many a time before and have seen his action, Ricochet, has signed with NXT and is also this week starting his tenure at the WWE Performance Center, along with the tag team of War Machine, who has done tremendous things in New Japan Pro Wrestling and also Ring of Honor Wrestling. All four of those talents on their way to NXT, and I wouldn't be surprised, rather, if we saw Candice LeRae participate in the Women's Battle Royal, of which, by my count, there's only 18 names announced at this point. Impact Wrestling announced today that they are launching a new 24/7 channel on Twitch TV. Twitch, of course, the app, which has been known for gaming, but also very widely known for its content featuring House of Hardcore, which, of course, broadcasted last in December on a pay-per-view basis or on a special event basis on Twitch. I was lucky enough to be one of the commentators for that event from right here in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and it was a blast, and it's a great platform that I actually would not have even known had existed had not for House of Hardcore being on it. They, of course, must be seeing the success from House of Hardcore and now Impact Wrestling with a 24/7 wrestling channel. It's going to include content that has not been seen before, such as content that will dig deeper into the personal lives of some of the Impact Wrestling talents, and also podcasts from Jeremy Borash, podcasts from Josh Matthews, as well as previously aired episodes of Impact and Explosion. Certainly a good thing for TNA Impact Wrestling. This might get them more exposure than their television broadcasts on Pop TV due to Pop's limited penetration in the country and also the low ratings numbers, basically, relative to what they had historically gotten when they were on Spike each and every week. So congratulations to Impact Wrestling. They are going to be running that channel. I believe it starts in just a couple days here on Twitch, which is available on your mobile devices. And we want to remind you that that is not the only pro wrestling streaming that you can get on your mobile device. Fight TV, that's F-I-T-E, Fight TV is a platform by which you can get a lot of wrestling, including Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor Wrestling. Ring of Honor is one of the prominent organizations featured on Fight TV. Big news coming soon from Fight about their coverage WrestleMania weekend. I have been working with them recently on some of the efforts. As you know, I was privileged enough to host the WrestleMania weekend activities with SoCal Val last year from Orlando. Well, this year the coverage is expanded tremendously and will include a lot of wrestling you didn't think you'd ever be able to watch from your home if you weren't in town for WrestleMania. More details on that coming from Fight, but you can download Fight, F-I-T-E, on your mobile device. It's fight.tv/PWR. Again, that's fight.tv/PWR. Takes you right to the download link to download episodes of all of your favorite wrestling shows, including all of the shows from the Pro Wrestling Report, which includes the returning Feedback Friday this Friday on our channels, YouTube and Fight. That's fight.tv/PWR. WWE SmackDown comes to you tonight on the USA Network. Big story to come out of it, as we will see the finalists determined for the United States Championship title tournament. It's the semifinals, folks. 2 matches to determine the 2 men who will go on to the Royal Rumble to face each other to determine who will be the United States champion. Firstly, Xavier Woods is going to take on Jinder Mahal. I would anticipate seeing Jinder Mahal win that matchup and moving on to the Rumble. And then he will face either Bobby Roode or Mojo Rawley, who are also competing in that matchup tonight to determine the finalists for that tournament match. And I think we got some Bobby Roode action going on there, folks. So Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, at least is what I would say, what I would pick going into the Rumble to determine a new United States champion, because it could be either of those 2 men. I don't think the answer is as obvious as if it would be if one of the other participants were to win. So SmackDown tonight. Also, we'll continue to see the drama unfold, of course, between Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. A lot of momentum, a lot of steam, if you will, on SmackDown as of late, going into the Royal Rumble, which is in just 2 weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the podcasts of the Pro Wrestling Report, available at blogtalkradio.com/PWR or in any of your podcast feeders, aggregates, if you will. Search Pro Wrestling Report in any of your podcast players and get all of these episodes, including PWR Tonight, to take with you on the go. It's a great way to a great thing to take with you on the way to work in the morning if you're not able to join us on YouTube or Fight TV in the evenings. That's blogtalkradio.com/PWR. All the links are right there to download the RSS feed or to download and subscribe to the podcast itself. Tomorrow night, we're back with a brand new edition of PWR Tonight. We'll be taking a look at the results from tonight's SmackDown and thoughts on NXT, and preview, rather, of NXT as well. That tomorrow on PWR Tonight. In the meantime, folks, be sure to drop us a subscription by clicking on the subscribe button in the lower right corner, lower left corner, lower right corner, one of the lower corners of your screen. And we'll be back with you again tomorrow night, another PWR Tonight, followed by Thursday, another episode of PWR Tonight, and Feedback Friday returns on Friday with our new guest, our new co-host, Kenny Starmaker Bolin. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow here in PWR Tonight.
WrestleMania weekend's biggest party is coming to Bourbon Street. Don't miss an all-inclusive, all-night party Friday, April 6th. Hosted by Kevin Nash and over 20 other wrestling stars. Enjoy unlimited drinks all night long at the Bourbon Cowboy on Bourbon Street. Throw beads from the balcony. Drink and party with your favorite wrestling stars. Hurry, limited quantities available. Purchase tickets now at PWRshow.com. That's PWRshow.com.